All right, this is Mike here, and this is one of our road trip extras, okay? In this particular video, I want to show you how to pack. I have no idea who you are, okay, that's bought this course and has taken this course to be better about things. During my entire lifetime, I have observed quite a bit of different ways people have packed. And it has to do with who they are, okay? Some people that get really sentimental about certain things that they supposedly have to have, and if they don't have it, they get really upset. And it's like they can't go on vacation without it. So they bring it with them. And usually it's not just one thing. It's usually a house full of things. So they get there, and it's like they're moving. And they spend all day moving it into their hotel room. You know what I mean? Where I take this one and I just walk in, you know? And it's like, well, don't you have? And I was like, I have everything I need for a week. Sometimes they're only there for a day or two, and they've got so much stuff. They have fans and cooking equipment that shouldn't be there. Sometimes I've seen people pack their own coffee machines, and they'll take their own. I mean, it's just, it's really not good to see what I've seen sometimes. So, being that I've seen it as a tourism professional for years and years and years, I figured I'd have a really good premiere on how I perceive packing, okay, and why I pack light, and some of the things behind it, because a lot of it has to do with your ideation of what do you think you're going to need versus what do you think you'll want to take with you, okay? Now, those are different things. So I'm going to refer to, I'll put stuff all over it. Now, we have these little lists. This one happens to be a vehicle preparation checklist. You can just use it. I didn't really put a packing checklist. Well, I kind of did. In some of our itinerary guides that you get in your resources section, there will be places where you can pack. Even if you have to take one of these and just turn it over to where it's just a blank piece of paper, that's fine. But I did go through, let me just put it on this one here. I love clipboards. Clipboards make you feel a little bit official. You can get this job duty to one of your people going. So let's talk about that real quick. Now, some of you, you procrastinate, and that's fine. I do it too. All right. So let's handle the person first and foremost. If you're a person that's going to procrastinate, I'm going to ask you to start a bit early. Find you your luggage. And then try to find a way to start packing a few things at a time. Just throughout the time, just going. Also, if you find yourself always pulling from certain things, like a phone charger. I know I don't look like a phone charger. It takes the little magnet, sticks to it. I left my phone over there. But so make sure that it's like, oh, I use this every day. Make you a list. Or put it in your accessories section on your clipboard. So just because you don't have it packed, just leave the little check mark out, okay? That'll help you, because what it'll do is you'll write down phone charger. You see what I'm saying? Hair dryer. Now, unless you just have some hair that absolutely needs a hair dryer, I'm going to ask you not to bring it. Every hotel has a hair dryer. And I'm going to ask you throughout the course not to get that dolled up, okay? Because let's face it, you're there on vacation. Nobody knows you. I don't think you're going out to hook up with some kind of mate. So, you know what I mean? Just try not to bring anything that has to make you get a certain degree of fancy. So if you do, say, take a makeup kit or something, or you wear certain things, and you're like, look, I do this every day. This is part of my routine. I would not feel complete if I didn't do my routine out on the road. Fine, we'll figure out a way of making it happen. Be sure to write this. Do not check the box, because what'll happen is that you'll see it's on the list. You'll assume it's on the list because you're a procrastinator, or sometimes you worry too much, or something that makes you, the kids did something at the last second, you've dealt with it because it was last on your mind, you felt like it was there, so you moved on, and of course you find yourself in the room without the thing that you really wanted to bring. So when it comes to actually the day of packing for real, you will put a check mark here. And that's why I'm saying put it on the list, but do not check it. That way you can go through and check it on the day you left. And you might decide you don't even want to bring it no more. So, you know what I'm saying? You can always just, where it says other or where it says toiletries, you might not need all of these. So you can add other things in that particular place on your checklist. Please, I guess that's maybe the best thing to say. Please do fill out the checklist. I say that because some people are like, look, bro, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? It's all right here. I don't need no list. You're the type person that'll run off and forget your phone charger and have to find, on your phone, where is the next Best Buy, or whatever box store you want to put in that place. Just, you don't want to do that. I don't care who you are, write this out. Okay? Also, if you find out on your trip that you would have really liked to have taken something, put a little star or some kind of little emblem that would tell you, next time, bring this. So you can also use this as notes. There's so many things in here, like even in shoes. I'm going to tell you to bring one pair of shoes, and that's going to probably have to do. All right, like if you've seen or you will see, depending on where this is in the course, what I recommend wearing is kind of an all-purpose go-everywhere shoe. Because keep in mind, I have $500 Allen Edmonds, you know what I mean? I'm not bringing that on my trip unless I'm going up on stage, because sometimes if you guys have seen me out, whenever I do have to go up on stage, I will take my suits and shoes because I am going to be meeting fancy people. Okay, so unless you're going to an event where you're going to have to dress a certain way, then I'm going to let that be something you deal with, all right? So if you're a lady, if you're a guy and you got to wear a certain type outfit for being on stage, that's fine. Bring it, get all the things necessary to look a certain way because you're probably going to be on camera. I've been on camera many times. I'm doing it now, even teaching this course, so that I understand what my role is and what I need to bring to make that into something that people are coming to see. Okay, for everybody else, just bring sort of a common, will not break on the road kind of shoe. I have a thing with Zero shoes. I like them. They have a 15. They have an all-purpose. We're going to get into that here in a second. Okay, so first thing, let's work on what kind of person you are, and then we'll pack around that kind of person. Some people are like, I only bring a toothbrush. That's all I need. I'm thinking that's a little too light. So you might want to, bring a few more things with you. Now, if you're the kind of person I mentioned a second ago that's like, I want to bring the whole house because that's what I require, then you probably need to follow the road trip because let's face it, another thing about a road trip here is we're presupposing that you're part of a group moving in one vehicle. That means do not take anything no bigger than some of the things I'm going to show you, okay? So a suitcase this size. Why? Because if there's 4 of you, that means there's 4 of these. If there's 6 of you, that means, you got it, there's 6 of these. Now, however, if there are small children, you can pack their clothes, basically 2 of them, in one of these. So for everybody's family, by the time you get 2 children, that's 2 adults, 2 children, so that's 3 suitcases. So there's still quite a bit. Why this is also important is in case some of you seen something that you just had to have out there on the road. There's not going to be any place to put it. The car is full of these. You know what I'm saying? So let's think about it, because sometimes you bring back more than you left with. So let's think about what we're carrying with us. If you pack for everything and then you get there the day of and everybody starts bringing multiple suitcases, whoever rented the van or whoever's got the big SUV is going to be like, I'm sorry, it's big, but we're not a bus. You know what I mean? So let's not do that, especially if you're going to go fly the open jaw flights. Oh my goodness, is that not insane? Because what'll happen is that airport security and all that sort of thing gets really tough. And if you've got a bunch of things with you, that's just more things that could get lost. And so if you could pack everything in one single thing that could just carry everything you got, you could just stow it. It's always with you. You don't have to worry about where your bag is. It's just, you know what I mean, in the top part. I mean, this is presupposing flights, right? So it's just above you. You don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of problems with airplanes and losing luggage. I've never had anything of mine, you know what I mean, lost, but let's face it, let's just not do that. I flew with golf clubs before. That was interesting. I'm glad they were in a case. I mean, they were a thing that fits a golf bag into, and it didn't look like it fared very well. You know what I mean? So, anyway, so let's pack light, okay? So no matter who you are, let's entertain how we go about packing. Now, if there are a bunch of, I'm going to say girls in this group, okay? If there's a bunch of girls, and I'm going to ask you to not bring everybody's hair dryer, all right? Because if you got a bunch of just find whoever's in your group. Because I'm going to assume that the guys are probably not trying to figure out who's going to bring some guy's hairdryer. We typically don't use them much, you know what I mean? So just saying that most of the time, this is a girl thing. Just about every hotel will have a hairdryer. It's not that big a deal, you know what I mean? So also your coffee maker. Typically, you don't have to worry about this. It's either in the lobby, if you spend a certain amount on a hotel. They may probably even have a restaurant style something downstairs. And let's face it, coffee is coffee when it's out on the road. If people are like, well, I've got to have my coffee. Fine, it's pretty much always unlimited refills. You know, I don't want that janky coffee. That stuff's crap. It's like, I get it. It's not the best. However, sometimes you could find another way to get them to make you a certain coffee if you bring it. That's not always. I would imagine that's a very low shot. There will be some things I'll talk about in here in just a second. But find out those areas that you cannot live without, and then we'll just find a way to either make do. I'll be honest, I have had some specialty coffees. I had a coffee once. It's actually Kona bean. Real Kona bean. It's not like Kona, but really from Hawaii. It was $72 for 12 ounces. It's another reason how you can know. It was certified Kona bean, and it was fantastic. And I like drinking that at either a specialty coffee place, which is where I was, or at my house. I don't need that at the Best Western Plus, right? You see what I'm saying? I need to get to where I'm going. I just need coffee like a checkbox. I don't care really what it is. So lower your standards, okay? If you're the kind of person that's too bougie, okay? I'm just telling you. You're going to be better off if you say, well, I can't go unless I have X and so. Just, or you're a tea drinker, you're not a coffee person. I get it. There's ways you could probably facilitate that if you plan ahead. If you're, back to the hairdryer thing, if you're a group of ladies who, for example, there's 4 of you, I do have one tip. This is a tip. This isn't a standard. I'm going to say a tip. Sometimes it's best to get a hold of everybody and just say, okay, I have a $300 hairdryer. All right. We all love those. They're great. I have, say the next lady, be like, I got the makeup. Don't worry about me. I have a side thing with some company that I don't even know right now. And okay, then it's okay to kind of pack a 5th, if there's 4 of you, a 5th suitcase full of sort of general items. That means everybody will kind of use what's out there. Now, if you're friends enough to where, let's face it, if you're going on a road trip like this, you're friends enough to use somebody else's hairdryer, okay? So let's get away from the notion of I always have to have my own. If you're that kind of person, maybe you should make this your road trip. You see what I'm saying? Or you and her spouse's road trip. Most of the time when I'm talking, I'm presupposing there's either a family of people going, or there's about 4 to 6 to 10 or however many people, because that's kind of how whenever I go places, I look around and that's what I see the most on people that want to take a road trip. They're taking people other than them and their spouse. Now, can you take just you and your spouse on a road trip? Absolutely so. But typically, it's usually more than a few people, okay? And they have to kind of get along. Now, I'm talking about packing. I will talk a little bit about hotels, all that sort of thing. I don't know where you're going to be. Some people might be arguing with me now going, I'm going to sleep in my car, buddy. That's why I only need a toothbrush. And it's like, okay, well, you can, I guess, but you're not my target audience. So I'm presupposing the group. All right, so with the group, that's where we're going to go. Now, there are some things that you might want to take. How do I want to go with this? I guess I should say something. Let me back up just a bit. All right. There's going to be some things you're just going to have to take, right? Like I have to have a CPAP. My wife and I have got to the point in our health that this is a non-negotiable. You have to have a CPAP. And only the CPAP pretty much goes into the CPAP machine carrier, okay? It just doesn't go any other way. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is, all right? So certain things are going to have to be like that. And they all have these little spots in the back so that you can take your handles up here whenever you extend them. You put that over the handle, it rides just fine. You take it on. Now, I do recommend a wheeled, we'll show wheels a little bit. You can see this one right here. I think most people have got the little spinny wheels. It's just easier to carry. They're the most common. They're really cheap, much cheaper than some of these other things I'm going to show you here in just a second. But you can just wheel your stuff around and all that sort of thing. So let's talk about some extras just because of that, all right? And these extras will be able to go down here where it says accessories or electronics or just wherever you have a space where you can kind of draw a line or something to indicate to you what this is, okay? So let me get some of this out. I'm gonna open up these. This is our personal, if we're going somewhere where we know we're gonna put these, okay? Because I did buy 4 of these at one time because I liked them. All right. This part of the screen is cut off. That's perfectly fine. I don't think we need to show just all of that, okay? So primarily from where you can see. These also have these little straps. They go together. You just have to push the little button or snap the little thing to go on. This is where we're going to keep things like Febreze to go, original. Now, if you've ever been to like a petting zoo and you left the petting zoo or the particular place, a rodeo or something, and the wind was blowing, or you've been to a drag race and you smell like jet fuel smelling stuff, I don't think they use jet fuel. It's a type of fuel, but anyway, anywhere where you're going to stink afterwards, you might want to Febreze yourself before you start hopping into the restaurant, or everybody else is going to smell like, man, is that cow poop? You know what I mean? Like, ew, somebody stinks. And it's just like, I don't know who it is, because you've got nose blind to your own stench, and now you're stinking everybody else out. So I'm going to say, if that's the case, you're pretty good to go. Now, here's some OxyClean Max Force, and it's because boy here, you know what I mean, likes to eat down the road, and you've seen my bib, okay? Or I hope you have in other videos. Anyway, I like to take a bib with me also. I didn't bring it up here. I had only a limited amount of room. Also didn't bring the hair dryer. Let's face it, we all know what that is. But anyway, I recommend riding in the car with a bib so that whenever you're eating, going down the road, snacking, and you got cheesy poofs all over your hand, you don't do this on your clothes and it's like, oh, this is my good shirt. Or you're eating some big old goofy burger, and next thing you know, all the goofy burger is all over the side of your shirt, and it sticks out. This is where this kind of stuff comes in. You can just take the top off, and you can give yourself a good clean. You know what I mean? And hopefully by your next stop, it'll either be dry. I mean, keep in mind, now I always recommend when you're going out to bring a spare shirt. You know, pants aren't as bad, unless you're bad at peeing your pants, I guess. But if you're doing something to where pants are a problem, bring that no problem, you know, with you. We're going to talk about some day bags here in just a second, and that's for whenever you do go. Now, if you're with a group of people, put their stuff in one bag, okay? So if you have to do the fifth, remember I mentioned a while ago about the fifth suitcase? This is highly optional. However, it does come with a lot of good perks. And so I almost recommend it as a tip for what or how we travel, okay? So, of course, the more people you have, the more likely this is not going to be able to fit. But the less amount of people and the bigger the vehicle that you get, it becomes an option. Obviously, you can also get those things that go on top of a van or an SUV where you can additionally store things in this sort of little cap or hat that goes on top of these vehicles. I'm not going to go into that here. Everybody knows what those are. But I do recommend whenever you do travel, bringing an extra shirt at least. So that kind of goes together with some of this. So if you do get something on your shirt, no problem. You can go back to the car, put some stuff on it, try to get that stain out. Usually it always comes out. And you can go back to the room, clean it off in the shower, and you'll be good to go. It'll go pretty good. I have nicked myself. It says blood on here. That actually works. I have nicked myself shaving before. And anyway, after I got done, I wore a good shirt and doing this number, got it on the collar. And I was like, oh. So I got some of this stuff, and that's another reason I bring it. Just food, and just there's a good reason why we should bring that stuff. So I think that's a good idea. Now, this kind of goes with the territory of medications and CPAP type stuff. Most of us have these as diabetics. I'm a diabetic. And this is where you can put a cool pack in here so that you can put your insulin and needles and all that sort of thing in here. There's not any in here just to show. This is my, whenever I do pack, I pack needles. I put that on my list and I never forget it. And then once I drop it off kind of in the section of the car, you know, right there where it's got the little door panel, I just drop it off in there. I never worry about it. Now, I will say that here at Rattle, try to kind of separate these by like a couple inches, and sometimes it's not as bad. So if you have some of those, you might need to take some tape. I find that I run around with pink. I know I should have brought that too. And I tell you what, there's a lot of things coming to my head now that I didn't think about bringing up here. But I travel around with some pink duct tape. I know it sounds funny, but when I see that pink duct tape, it tells me, it signifies I have taped these shut, or I've taped them down, because there's nothing more infuriating to me. Like, these are hard suitcases, and they come with little hard zippers. And when that road, you know, because you have a little bit of vibration, and when they get to going, and you got a bunch of these in the back of your car, it will drive you insane. That little clickety sound that they make. And once you get a bunch of this going, I'm sorry, make that your ringtone. You'll get it on ring 1. I mean, just to make it stop. So anyway, you could take these, kind of push them down, spread some duct tape over the top of them, and then it don't make a sound. It might just be me. You might be able to live with quite a bit of noise like that, but I cannot. I go a little bit crazy. If you do fly and you want to, we haven't even done this yet. Take perfume with you or anything you need to aerialize, you know what I mean? That's usually always perfume, but you can get these little things here. Oops, I just dropped something. But they're kind of a spritzing solution. Just about anything you need to have spritzed, you know, just by pushing down. You could put in some of these guys, and they are FAA approved because they're not that much. I know people say, well, you can put pepper spray in there. I know, you probably could, but you probably go to jail if you do that. So try not to do anything dangerous, all right? Now, here's a little makeup kit. Or no. This is my shoe shining kit. Oh, never mind. That was another. Anyway, for those of us that do have to wear some nice shoes, you can actually pack up most of your tins and such to make for, that's a little bag it comes out, a little buffing wheel or buffing brushes and all that sort of thing, so that you can keep your shoes shining pretty good. And I guess if you have women pumps or whatever else you got, and you want to make sure they look really good the day of, that's my personal one right there. For making my Allen Edmonds. I love Allen Edmonds. I have a 15 triple wide, and they're about the only ones that make a dress shoe of a certain caliber that don't cost like $1,200. You know what I mean? And so I like them, made right here in America, all that sort of thing. But so you can do certain things if you just need to. Let me see what this is. I'll be honest, some of this I can't remember what it is. Ah, yeah. I know what this is. It's a this little portable. What is that? Like a portable steamer thing. It's for whenever you need to get wrinkles out of your clothes. So it's pretty interesting. It folds down and you plug it in and it will steam all the wrinkles out of stuff. So it is kind of made to be compact. So it folds down, because sometimes when you just sort of like take and ball your clothes up and toss it, they will get wrinkled like no tomorrow. So if you do have to travel around and you're like, look, I got to have this sort of thing. So finding mobile solutions. I know some of you are like, didn't you say not to be so extra? Well, I did. Yes, that is true. And that is a good idea, not to be extra. But sometimes some of you, I don't know how you're traveling, so that's going to come in. Now, if you do, this is my wife's here. If she's not going to wash her hair the next day, she'll sometimes put this on her head so that it keeps her hair nice and fresh. She's also got some earplugs. Sometimes if you go to a hotel and it's loud, or there are people next door to you are loud, and you're like, how am I going to get any sleep? Well, she's got earplugs, this little thing for her hair. She's got an eye mask. I think it goes this way, the puffy, furry side up against you. I guess you could go either way you wanted to with it. But a good eye mask. And then this kind of scrunchy thing if you wanted to put it around your head, or you're just going to hang out in the room. You know what I mean? And your hair is bothering you. This can be compact. I mean, I could show you. We've doubled this up so many times. But yeah, less than what you could put in the palm of your hand. So now that's a good idea, because that'll fit anywhere. What is this? Oh, I was looking for that. It's my black tie. And then another tie. And you guys are Getting the good stuff. Yeah, this is my practice tie. Sometimes I wear a bow tie a lot, so I have my own tuxedos and all that sort of thing. So I go back to wearing a standard tie. I have to kind of remember how to make a full Windsor. It's my favorite knot. So anyway, well, I guess you got to see that. Anyway, let's get on with it. Alrighty, here's some more basic stuff. This is my shaving kit. I have kind of like a regular hair comb, a beard brush. I know it sounds funny, but you want all your hairs to kind of to lay down good. Then I have a small standard comb, some itch cream, and then my shampoo puck. So let's talk a little bit about this, because this is a good idea here. And this will go for ladies and men. And it is probably better now. Now, I've been using solid shampoo pucks for a long time. It's my soap and my shampoo. If it wasn't for some of the scents that's in there, I'd probably use it as my toothpaste. You know what I mean? Because this is very light. You know what I'm saying? You put your razors and everything else in here. But back to what I was saying about shampoo pucks. They're just so much smaller. They don't spill. They don't run all over in the car. They don't melt in the car if it's really hot. They will get a little softer, but they don't. They keep their shape. So if you can find you some solid shampoo pucks, oh, you'll be so glad you did. Some people, like my wife used to use Paul Mitchell shampoo, and we had to just pack it. And one time I messed it up and it ran all over everything. And I knew then we're not going to do this anymore. So if you're a person that has to have certain shampoo bottles, I get that, but try. Before your trip, start sampling some of these shampoo pucks, okay? And I don't care if your hair is 5 feet long. I don't care if it takes 3 people to wash it. Give them one of these and let them fix that all up and do your hair with it. And I know some people are like, I'm particular. I'm like, I don't care what you say. You're on a road trip. You're not going to be on the red carpet. Now, if you're on the red carpet, fine. Bring whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned a while ago with my suits. You can do that. So if you can get used to some shampoo pucks, your life will be so much better. If you cannot, then find you some samples, okay? Here's some samples, some little small toothpaste. There's a bunch of them in here. A little thing of Colgate, which is in here. But every little shampoo company will usually have a little sample-y size thing. Or you can buy some of those where you can load your own into the sample bottle, okay? That means if you do have to have some really high-dollar shampoo while you're there, buy you a few of those. Because if one of those leaks inside of a bag like this, put it inside of a baggie, a zip tie, just zip it up. Now if it leaks, it's going to stay in here. And if this thing is in one of these, right, it don't get all over your clothes. Perfectly fine. Also, you can store, let me move it around here, okay? You guys are watching. You bought the course. You got the good stuff. It's where we're going to put our toothpicks, our toothbrushes, all that sort of thing in this top section here. Inside of it, like I just mentioned, is your small collection of things. We also have a little small bag. These fold up. They're next to nothing. We usually hang them on the door, okay, that goes into the bathroom or on the other side of it. I guess while you're in the bathroom, you'll be looking at this. So you can store all kinds of different things in these little bags. This has got a little small tiny pocket. Here to show you what's in there. Here's my Buchanan. I usually use Berg Apothecary. That's my favorite brand. There's some little tweezers for whenever you get a nose hair that won't keeps bothering you. So I definitely recommend something like this on the road, where you bring like a fingernail file. Like I say, it's a little that. Let me just put this down. Everybody knows what deodorant looks like. Sometimes a spare cable if you got something that requires you to power it. And a manicure kit, because you might be pulling on something and just ruin a side of a nail. And instead of trying to bite it off and then get all infected and weird, it's best just to go deal with it. If you get a splinter, if you've got just all manner of silly things that can happen to you, it's all right there with a little file. It's got little tweezers, fingernail clippers, little scissors. Because I'm sorry, I've had my CPAPs blow air, and I've had little nose hairs or my little mustache hairs that's kind of long will kind of blow up and start tickling my nose, and it's like, dude, stop. And I've had to just kind of go and find it, and then if you, with your big monkey fingers, try to figure out how to get that out, it's just not happening. It's part of being a human, right? We all got nose hairs. We all got fingernails. It's just part of it. Now, here's another thing that a lot of people do not think about. And after a good day of walking, oh my, you realize you really messed up because you can't hardly walk afterwards. And that's chafing sticks. This one's called Anti-Monkey Butt, AMB. You could find all different formulas. It don't matter. Just find one that you like. Take the little top. They usually have just a slight smell. And anywhere that's going to be kind of rubbing together, usually in the creases of your legs, under your arms. Oh, dude, just get that going. It will look like rug burn after a good day at Disney or at Dollywood or just, these places. You have to do a lot of walking. When I was in D.C., I walked 15 miles in one day because I kept getting off the subway, and then you'd have to go up to the top and then walk down to wherever you're going to be. We started early that morning and got home late that night. But yeah, all that sort of thing. So you might want to bring something like these things that says it's Palmer's cocoa butter formula. It's like a skin therapy. You know what I mean? Like I say, this is obviously more of my wife's bag than anything. She's got her deodorant, stuff like this, some Johnson's baby powder, some pads, some Monistat, some more hair scrunchy things. Yes, more of these hair scrunchy things. Bandages. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, ear cleaners. Let's just say that's pretty much all of it. Some spare batteries. Oh no, it's not batteries. Tums. That's right, Tums. Yes. I remember that. Sometimes when we were in New Orleans, we didn't think about it. I think that about killed us. There was a lot of things. Now, certain people can eat just anything. Once you get over 40, your ability to eat something that's got a whole lot of spice or a lot of seasoning of a certain kind, you'll burp that stuff up all night if you're not careful. We just don't have the iron stomachs of our 20s left in us. All that sort of thing. So yeah, I should probably put these in there too. A lot of bandages. We were in this place in Arkansas. It's on top of this mountain. They tell you, look, the Walmart's about 27 miles away. And it's about an hour because it's up in the Ozarks. I mean, on top of this, I think it's in Shirley, Arkansas. Big old resort everywhere. Everywhere you look, it's part of this big, huge resort system. Golf courses. And we were checking out, or checking in. I can't remember. We go to so many places. Anyway, we found a little rock. It was on this sidewalk. And for some odd reason, my wife steps on it, and she goes to tumble. Oh, it slides. It's rock, slick rock against slick rock. It made her a roller skate, basically. And she messed up her knee and all that sort of thing. So we started packing some of these bigger bandages and stuff like that, because what we call the Arkansas rock. We do. We still call, like most of you guys don't know what's an Arkansas rock. Me and my wife definitely know what an Arkansas rock is. So be prepared to kind of pack some of these bigger bandages just in case, for example, you fall and just skin your, you fall down the stairs, you do something to where the little small ones don't touch it. You need a first aid kit. So if that fifth bag for you happens to be something you're going to do, please, by all means, pack some of this stuff, because it's just, when you're out on the road, you have to be your own first aid. And, you know what I mean? Sometimes even if you have to go to the doctor the next day, you got to take the bandages off and then all that kind of stuff. So that'll be something that you might want to carry. What is this thing? Oh, it's just more of the same. She has kind of her perfume. Is that a alum stick? Nope. Some more things. She's gonna watch this and be like, "Why was you showing my stuff?" It's like I was being honest with her. This is the way we pack. This is our audience that's watching this. I want them to know the real story. Like, you want me to show you the real story, right? Some of the stuff I actually own enough to where I show you here in front of you. Yeah, this is a portable kettle. All right. Now, this is just the cord. Okay, so it's not that, it's empty from here. It comes with you can get these little citric acid detergents to clean it, all that sort of thing. It plugs up in the back. Now, I'm presupposing in all this course, now you are from America. You're going to be visiting in America, because sometimes plugs only fit American plugs. So if you're here, have an adapter or something. I'm presupposing that the persons watching me are probably Americans going to other places in America, because I love our country and I think it's awesome. It's not that I don't love the other countries. It's just, this is the Plainest Tennessee Road Trip. So we're talking about things here. So it plugs up in the side. Just back to this kettle. And if you can get you a portable kettle, it will make hot water, and you can make whatever you want. Then, so if you've got some tea, bring a bunch of tea bags or tea loose. You know, I'm gonna assume that you know that they take the little ball or whatever, a little man. You see the different type of steeping operations that you can do. And that's going to give you the ability to make pretty much whatever you want when it comes to a tea or, you know, just whatever. I guess you can put hot milk in there if you wanted to, just whatever. Now, this is kind of where some of these come in. You can flatten them down to nothing so that they store. And then, of course, pop them back up. They have a graduation on the side, so you know how many spoons of whatever to fill it in. Here's another good tip. This isn't up standard as the tip. Try to, if you're going to bring stuff like this, use it before you go so that you can get how much of whatever you need to put in there. And this will also pack with you, too. You can carry it. Now, keep in mind, when you go to pour things, it can be a little bit wonky, so you might need to, or difficult. And anyway, you might need to practice using your things before you decide to just get out on the road with them, if you know what I'm saying. So if it turns out that you don't like coffee everywhere downstairs, always has, you know, you're a tea person or you want hot cocoa or something and you got little packets, you could put a lot of different things in these little portable kettles, and they got a pretty big beefy club or cord here. They can pack quite a bit of powder, or power, I meant to say. For some reason, here's some of the accessories that kind of go with cleaning it and all that sort of thing. And we just left it in the bag. What we left it in the bag too is that we got other things that can clean them. So they seem to clean a little bit better. But there's the stock equipment actually works pretty good too. But just keep in mind, and that'll just go with you on your entire trip. So if you're a kind of person that has to have something that is not found out in the wild, I guess I should say. Now keep in mind, you can always find the nearest store if there's something, even all the like Starbucks and Seven Brews and What else is there? You know, different places that are famous for breakfast are going to have this stuff. It'll be with you no problem. I remember this always being kind of difficult to load. There it goes. And we just sort of pack these on top of it. We take a big thing of baking soda and vinegar. Cheap way to clean things while you're out on the road. That's also another tip. I didn't bring it. Obviously, I'm surrounded by stuff I'm getting to in this particular lesson. So I didn't feel like I needed to bring everything I mentioned because I'd have a whole room full of things. And that's what we're trying to get away from. But to show you here, I figured I'd just kind of show some of these optional things first. So that's kind of neat. Now this is a portable blender. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's a chopping blender. Some people, they have to have their smoothie. Obviously, a smoothie is very, very, very difficult to find out on the road. Oops, sorry, I've been hiccuping. This blender happens to turn into a, what do you call this thing? Like a travel mug type thing. After you take this out, you put this little cap back on. You can just drink it going down the road. Or if that's a bit much of juice, you can share it with some of your buddies. All that sort of thing. Stop right before you go to your room so that you can have your blended smoothie in the morning. We get a lot of this stuff given to us since we're travel professionals. So we have never even used that particular blender. But I wanted it to show it because it is an option. So what I'm trying to do with all this, like I mentioned, is say that if there's something that you just have to have or want to have based on a very deep desire, we're kind of going through these first. Now this is a water pick. And a lot of people are like, I take this little water pick thing and basically spray your teeth down in case that they're not able to use flossing. That's a very optional thing. I'll just be honest. I got this out to even remind myself of what it is. It got given to us. We stuck it in here, so I wanted to show it as a possibility because some of those are really big, those water pick thing, and some people that are just so like adamant they got to use it. It's just part of their everyday routine, and but there's this big, it's kind of goofy, it takes a little bit to load it, so sometimes having a smaller one will go pretty well in its place. Let me put some of this stuff back. Let me close this thing up here. So all of this is the kind of an optional, it's probably good to have or nice, I guess nice to have stuff. It isn't like a basic requirement other than maybe some of the things like toothbrushes and things like that. Not everybody's going to be on insulin, so naturally that's not going to be for everybody. And all that sort of things. But this like Febreze, stuff like that, that's going to be very good to have. Let me go ahead and put these in here too. I forgot to mention these. These are kind of like it's a door lock system that you sort of stick in your door, turn, and then sort of screw in, and it'll keep your door shut. Okay? So, we were in Brownsville, Texas with my company, and anyway, one of my bosses there was a guy, and this is like I said, Brownsville is a big place, and we had to go back and forth to Matamoros, Mexico, and somebody give this other person a key, a digital key. He had to put it up against the door, you know what I mean, open it. They give them a key that opened the door he was in. It was one of those mix-up kind of things. And this guy was very evidently irate about the situation that there was another guy in his room. So, of course, to one person, suddenly at like 12:40 a.m., there's a guy busted in his room. But to the other person, there's a guy in his room who's obviously squatting or something, so he gets upset. The other guys get upset, so naturally it didn't go very well. So I like to make sure that nobody gets in my room with us in it. So I put those little door locks are perfect. There's probably a bunch of different kinds. If you want another layer of security, you can definitely get it. It'll look probably like my hand's off the screen. I'm just putting this away. The green screen's going to show maybe something different how you're looking. But here's a new class. Let's start talking about things to put them in. Okay. There's some things that are pretty interesting that's out there today. This got given to us. This one has a cup holder. Yeah, this luggage kit. Yeah, sure enough. Cup holder. Another thing that it has is pretty interesting. I get no money for this, if you're wondering. It has a section in the top here where you can, it's got like a keypad, basically, with a key that'll let you get in it. It's also got places here where you can charge. Like it's got a place here you could put your, like it's got a built-in battery. You can literally, while you're waiting in the airport, it's got a C and an A cable, but you can charge your phone or use your phone or power whatever you needed to right there. And I'll kind of keep this, that's why it's over here, this plug, so that you can get in it. And of course, TSA and all those, they're gonna probably frown on some of this, but if it's just you know, traveling, and you can get in it, as long as you can get in it, and they can get in it when they need to, it's perfectly fine. It's got kind of a push handle that locks at different rates and all that sort of stuff. It's very interesting to see how the kind of evolution of travel bags have gone. Also, these particular set of zippers have ends where you can put them together and put a lock through the middle of it. So no one's going to be searching your bag. Or if they do, they've cut it or something like that. It's very interesting. And I would say if you're going to go look for one, or if I had to go buy them all over again, I'd probably look for something like this. So even if all this dies, say for example something happens, then that's fine. Just shrug your shoulders. It becomes a normal suitcase like we just had. This one happens to have a system in here. Let's just take a look. Sorry, this desk is not really for this, but if you're in the market for looking for some, put something like it has its own bag, like I just put down there, with a plastic section, in case you're, like I said earlier, you do have a travel set. And the travel set of your liquids can fit in here. And it's got a neat zipper, so you can get down in there. But that way you can pack things if they do leak, will stay within this zippered section. It's got a pretty neat zipper. It's also got some sort of baffling to keep certain clothes from other clothes. Now, I pack pretty light, and I'll put my dirty clothes back in with the clean clothes. But I'll put something kind of as a barrier between them. And I have to do this number to get this thing out, because this is very important too. And that's to have a day bag. Okay, actually it comes with two of them. And you could put all manner of things in these, and they'll strap and buckle together, so you can have your main laundry area. And this one has a zipper. You get to all that stuff I just showed if something ever happened to it. And you could also put, say for example, dirty clothes in one of those I just got out. You know what I'm saying? So that all you have to do is take this down to whatever laundromat or something if you wanted to check, like you're going to be out for a long time. Or whenever you get back, you can just take this thing with you out. Anything you didn't wear that was clean stays in here. But you have kind of two separate sections with these these dividers. So it becomes a real good possibility to say, keep dirty clothes in this part, clean clothes in this part. You see what I mean? Like, I think that's brilliant. And then, of course, like I say, you don't even have to use those for dirty clothes now. You can use them for other things. So these little bags are pretty nifty, I think. So that gives you a lot more flexibility for what you're going to use it for. Of course, they got some other zippered sections, and then this little mesh section for like combs and things you just need, or cords. You know what I mean? Just different stuff. We'll talk about all this coming up. So I think if you're in the market for one of those, look around for some of these smarter designs. And this is from a company called, I don't even know how you say it. It's like Luyillanxi. Lionnaxi? I probably butchered that. Anyway, so I thought it was pretty neat. Like I say, we got this give to us to show on places like this. Like I say, this is a really nifty bag. It's a super nifty bag. It's got expansion, so you can put it out. So I think that's going to be something we try out pretty early. Keep in mind, as a tourism professional, we do a lot of different things. And this is one of them. But having this kind of one bag solution to handle kind of clean and dirty or something like that, that's pretty brilliant. And then whenever you're on your day trip, you can just pack your stuff in here that you're going to be going out with, your spare shirt, your OxyClean, whatever is going to get any stain out. Just different sunscreen. Keep in mind also, this is depending on where you're going to go. If sun's going to be a problem, it's a good way to put your sunscreen in here, all that sort of stuff, and have the ability to have it work as a it's got a TSA lock thing. Yeah, right here, the TSA lock. It's an accepted. They have to kind of get this kind of done before. Or you need to buy. I guess you should say buy a TSA approved luggage kit in case they think you're hiding something. If they think you're hiding something, that might not go very well. But if you're going to be in the market for some of these, I think that this is probably where I'd go. It's a hard case. It's got a side handle, which is so, oh man. To have a top and side handle is very unique. It seems like you only get either top or a side or whatever it is. But if you're going with a bunch of people and you got a bunch of suitcases, how you move those into position to make it all fit might require a little bit of adjustment. So there might be two on their side and two sticking up, or you don't have room to stick them up, or somebody brought this goofy looking bag and we'll say her name is, I don't know, Amanda, starts with an A. Amanda had to be extra and bring the extra big one, and now we're all going, how are we going to fit everybody else's stuff in? Well, what if we, and you start the Tetris, if you remember that old game, move it this way and we'll move it this, and then it's like, after a while, somebody in your club there is going to go, well, you see, we stand it up, we push it back, and then we'll put the other ones right here, and it's like they do it, and everything works out fine. After you do that, take a picture, okay? Here's a tip from me. If you could find out how, if your luggage is has to go in the same way twice, take a picture, okay? Because what happens is the next time you're going to say it goes in like this, and it's just like, how do we do it? And nobody in your group can remember how we took just take a picture of it. We all have cell phones. That's a good tip. All right, so anyway, let's talk a little bit about packing light. If you don't need all this, this is where these little duffels go. Now, whenever I fly, I love a good duffel because it's easy to have on you at all times. If I'm not going on stage where I need my bigger stuff, duffels are perfect. They got these little, like this one in particular, has these little side bags. I could put all kinds of stuff in these little pockets. All kinds of neat things. Like I mentioned, you've seen it in my other lessons where I like to bring pencil and paper because it works all the time. And it doesn't drain my battery, unless it's my human battery. So that's really good to have all this different storage in here. And you could put, you can see down in there, and all this sort of thing. Now, this is a dirt cheap one. My favorite company is obviously Colonel Littleton's. They're in Linville, Tennessee, where this would be between $1,100 and $2,000. This is from a company called Double Bus. I think they're like $50 if that. They come with like an expansion in the bottom where you've got an extra little bag. It looks like a little purse where you could put all your little toiletries. I sometimes use these for dirty undies. We'll go into how to pack here in just a second. But you get your little stuff for your shaving kits. You know what I mean? Comes with a handle. Like, well, this is the shaving kit. I don't remember what this one's for. Anyway, this is supposed to be. It'll be whatever you want to put in there. We'll say it that way. Yeah, this is the toiletries bag. That right there, I'm not even really sure what that goes to. There's so many things I don't really need as much. So if you can find a creative use for it, go for it. That's how I'm going to say it. These duffels, oh, they look like they'd be so simple. Like, how are you going to store everything in a duffel bag? Listen, duffels were around a long time before suitcases. That was kind of the travel accessory of choice. But having these little day bags and stuff, you can kind of go in and out. They are perfect for this. Absolutely perfect. And I guess a lot of people laugh at them today. Why don't you get you a big luggage kit? It's like, well, the more you take with you takes up space. So if you don't need that much stuff to go with you, if you're wondering, this is how it is. Now, one thing cool about a duffel bag, it's got the top section here, and then it's got, this particular one has this bottom section, and that's where this thing came from. Now, of course, once you fill this up, you can take it out and just take it with you. I'll usually put because it's usually lined, this is where you'd put like your shampoo or whatever liquid might come out, all other stuff, like mouthwash. I don't know what it is about a mouthwash thing. Get you something that pretty much just locks it. I mean, it's never going nowhere, okay? And not glass either, because, as soon as you forget and you throw it out or it falls, I'm sorry, glass against concrete, even with leather, sometimes make glass break. So they'll usually have this little material right here, and that works really good against smells, because like when you bring your undies or panties or anything else, everything that's going to be touching parts of you that tends to sweat and smell, you're going to have a bunch of smelly stuff. And you don't want to put that in there with your good clothes. So let's face it. So if you're not going to do laundry while you're out, then sometimes having these bags with two separate compartments, like I just showed you, with the other bag I just mentioned, that might be a thing. And it lets me put everything that's going to be good quality, clean in this section and dirty in this section, and you just carry it around. And those other things, if they're full, no problem, just sling them the other way. So you'll have a band going this way and a band going that way. And then whatever you take with you, like your computer bag, is just right there. I mean, voila, that's perfect. And it never leaves you, you know what I mean? No, you're not going to like go to drink coffee or something and find out somebody took your roll around. You know what I mean? And it's like looking around and everybody has a roll around that looks like yours. That's another reason to go with an odd color or put stickers all over it so that you can say, that one's mine. I know it is, it's got this sticker or something like that all over the side of it. Also take a picture of that. Okay. Here's another tip. Whatever you take with you, whatever it is, and you make it identifiable, take a picture of it. When you first get everybody's stuff in, one at a time, take a picture of it. And this is kind of like why I take pictures, like if you're going to a fair, take a picture of your kid next to the bumper of your car. And that's because, and take it at your eye level. Why is that? Because cops, EMS, all the people, professionals, that's going to be looking around for a kid this high on this particular vehicle. They're just used to seeing vehicles, especially the butt of a vehicle, okay? So if they know that it's about this much higher than the, I don't know, back end of my Lincoln MKX, right? Or you're a little bit over where the tail lights are, you know, or something like that, then what you're wearing and all that sort of thing makes you identifiable in a crowd. Same way with these things, okay? If it's identifiable, if it ever gets stolen, then you can put something out there and they can share it because everybody's got digital technologies. So that's going to give it at least a little bit better odds of getting it found. But whenever you have to take your hand off of a bag, you see what I mean? And there's enough people in the crowd, they can get it. And if you're sitting there playing on your phone, somebody who's working with another professional can go up next to them and they've got a bag. Their buddy, what they're talking to, doesn't. They get your bag, and then the next thing you know, all you have is a person, one bag to a person. That's almost impossible to find in a crowd, even with security cameras. So do not be that person in an airport. Usually is where this is coming from. Also, if you're in the hotel lobby, this is also where it can happen. Anywhere somebody can steal your entire luggage. Standing out by the car, you put it behind the car, and then you go around the front, doodle in there for a while. You come back and it's not there. You're looking around and everybody's got the same black luggage kit or something. So you don't know it's yours from somebody else's. It just turns into a nightmare. So just a duffel, it can just stay on you no matter where you go. In the bathroom even. I mean, they're a really good thing to have. And I love duffels. So, but that's enough about the duffel, or at least this particular duffel. So let's go on to another type of day bag. Doesn't that look like I don't know, it's got a little vent hole and stuff. It's cool. It's like a big purse, like a big, massive purse. Yes, you're seeing my arm disappear. That's fine. Now these are made as kind of like obviously the smaller version of that. The backpacks are pretty neat. You'll usually see a packable backpack to store your computer and a set of clothes. This one happens to have a little fold-out section where it's got a bag where you can also put your computer or whatever else you got with you. This one looks like a big trapper keeper. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can get this folded down. But you can store all kinds of little stuff and goodies in there. You also get a little side section where it comes out, and it's usually got these front areas where you can put all your little deodorants and just stuff like that, shampoo pucks, toothbrushes or pencils. Whole lot of multi-use. So don't think it's just for this. That equals that. No, you can get outside the lines if you will. And like I just mentioned, these things usually have it's all blocked up. Different things this is for my kiddo primarily. All these things like clipboards. You know what I mean? They can fit in here. So we got some options with some of this stuff. And like I say, once you free this up, and you load the other section up with clothes and things she's going to use, her clothes aren't that big. Like I'm 6'5", 330 pounds. Now my clothes are big. So, her little clothes are tiny. You can put a whole week's worth in here. You can also put a little business card right here. We usually have her write, my name is Alana, I live here's my phone number, same thing. Stick it down in there, but because she takes ownership of it, it's really good. So I think those are neat. Of course, These are pretty much one big open bag. They come with a little cup holder type things in the side. Of course, in the back, there's another separate zipper where you can put even more things in if you wanted to. Another little thing on the side, no problem. Just for the sake of having too much on my bag or on here at one time, let's put that away. Have inflammation in my shoulder, so my right shoulder. So I'm kind of stressing about it a little bit. You guys have followed me a long time know that my pancreas goes out and I have to go in the hospital for pancreatitis a few times a year. And I've had a few days of just not so good health. All right, enough about me. There's a big section here in front where you can stuff night clothes and different things. She has an iPad Pro, so she uses, and like I mentioned, just pockets everywhere. And this little thing, I'm not really sure what that does as much, but if you needed to hang keys on it or anything like that, you pretty much got it good to go. It has a little clipper zipper thing here you press down. It's really hard to get out, so it's pretty much for things that's not going to go anywhere. But I think these are pretty neat, especially for kids, or if you're just a small person that doesn't require a whole lot of clothes. And like I could pack with this. We'll go through my methodology of packing. I just wanted to go through this part really quick. Now this big bad boy, it's a little bit of a kind of like a huge, and this is kind of how it packs down too. A lot of the duffels type stuff does this. It'll expand. This is basically just a huge, you see the tires. This is a rollable duffel bag. Yes, they've gone fancy. Never used this when it was given to us by this company right here. Fan Wally, I guess. Yeah, company name. Yeah, it's a bunch of Chinese letters. Anyway, got it on Amazon, or I found it on Amazon. But anyway, it was given to us. And we have never used this, but it is very interesting. I can show you. This is kind of like combining, it's kind of like a hybrid, basically. It's combining the huge duffel with wheels. And this guy has all kinds of room. It has this expandable section, like for, I don't know, dirty undies or something, I guess you can use. What I've looked into it. It's got another one on this side. It comes up and over. You can store things in there. It's optional. You can actually button it plumb off if you wanted. And it just pretty much makes, I don't even know if it's big enough to, I'll have to do it like this or else I can't. See, like from the height, it would go beyond what I can show you. It cuts off from the video. So I have to fold it a little bit to make sure it gets on there. But the back of it has rolly wheels where it's almost like a big golf bag carrier. Just a big open pocket room for all kinds of stuff. But it's got a bunch of these, like this whole side section is a zipper pouch. You know, it's kind of got that see-through type material. And so you can store a lot of things in here. Just for the basics of having one big open cavity. Now this would be perfect for somebody that has a really nice umbrella. And you want to take it with you because you know there's going to be some weather. I usually say stick the umbrellas underneath the car seat. But you can do that here. It's also got this little mesh type material you could collapse if you wanted to bring like a huge jacket. You know what I mean? And then of course here you can unzip the bottom for expandability. But since it was already huge, I left it like that. And at the end, like I just showed, is this. Well, I don't see where to put it now. Back. Oh, it's at the very back. Never mind. But you can literally take this here, mesh. It's got a handle. Got a handle on each side. But then it just folds down this size. So, let me just put that down here. I'm running out of room. Okay. So how you pack determines, let's kind of rewind just a bit. So the ideation here is that who you are determines on how much stuff you're going to pack. If you're a pack rat, you'll take the whole thing. Now, I'm asking you, please do not do that. Most of you guys are going to say, I don't care what you say, because I got to have my, and you fill up the page with things. And I'm going to say that I would rather have you comfortable than correct, I guess. Because for some people, they just won't go if they can't take a certain stuff. So if you're one of those kind of persons, you'll have to, just because of the size, take fewer people. Or the people that are taking somebody like that probably either needs to go without them or pick a bigger vehicle, a 10-seater van instead of a 6-seater van. So you're going to have to facilitate all of your things. There's no other, let's face it, it's just no other way to do this. Now, if you have expandability, those little caps that kind of go on top of usually vans or SUVs, they can't really fit on cars. Cars ain't made for this. But anything with a rail system on top usually can take one of these little, now if you have to buy them, keep in mind. Now, some rental car companies will actually have these as an additional add-on, okay? So if you do go to Hertz or, I don't know, one of these rental car companies, I always say look around the town you're in. There's usually always one. Sometimes they will have the expandable little tops to available for you to put extra gear in. Sometimes Little League moms and stuff will have to rent these, and of course they got balls and bats and your catcher's equipment, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes with people that play ball or archery or whichever one is traveling for a particular sport. So you're gonna have to find out how much you need to carry for your whole group, and kind of who you are as a person, if you can live with or without something. So I'm going to assume that that's some of your homework for your group, okay? Now, typically, I know as parents with our kids, they'll want to take everything in the house, and we have to say, no, I'm the boss. You got to do what I say. You're not taking all that stuff. That ain't going. And they're like, oh, Mom, but please, And just no means no. We either not go or you can't take it. And they're usually like, fine. They stay mad at you for an hour, but that's okay. It's part of being a parent. Now, you can't really do that to your friend. You know what I'm saying? Too very easy, because people going to get their feelings hurt and all that sort of thing. So if you can find a way to take their stuff, then fine, just do it. If you cannot, because of space limitations, we'll just have to find a different way of doing it. Okay? So I'm going to let that kind of be up to you. So how I go about packing. Okay. My methodology is if I'm gone for about a week, I will take either 1 or 2 pair of pants. This happens to be the exact set that I used in the other lesson on what to wear to see the Amish. I do this all the time, okay? If I'm going to go, and some of you guys are going to think this is disgusting, but I'll wear 1 pair of pants all week. Why? Because I wear the little long-legged undies. You know what I mean? So pretty much anything. Oh, there's a little string. It's one of those things that'll bother me if I'm not watching. Anyway, with my little undies here, that pretty much presents a layer between me and the smelly parts, and my legs don't really sweat. If they do, 100% linen will pretty much not really wick it away, but it will take whatever I do have and will pull it or allow it to evaporate very good and very even. Even if these get sweat stained, it's hard to get that particular type of material to really start smelling. Now, if you've got performance wear stuff, don't try that with that, all right? Some people, they go home, they go with these polyester type materials. It'll get saturated with sweat and it will smell terrible. It'll smell like gym clothes. And that's why a lot of times your gym clothes do smell, is because they're not made of a natural type fiber. Does that make any sense? So also I can clean these in my room. That saves little shampoo puck. It's not, I have to do it under cold water, and obviously I'm not wearing them. But I can clean these in the hotel room, no problem. Same as this. The reason I wear so much linen is because linen can be pretty much washed if I need to. Now, most of the time, I'll be honest, I don't need to. I happen to just wear it, okay? Just all the time. I never have any trouble. I'll let my wife smell it, you know what I mean? If she's like, "Ooh, this is stinky," we'll clean it. So I'll usually only bring maybe 1 or 2 pair of pants, and maybe 1 or 2 Guyaberas, and then pretty much a set of undies for every single day. Now, this can go for ladies the same way, especially if you got something like skirts. Let's just face it, skirts don't really get dirty, do they? So you can wear a skirt all week long. Never wash it, and they'll still smell pretty much the same. So if you're a skirt person, fine. Now, if you're a short person, I'm saying you wear shorts, not that you're static, in height of a certain particular, level from the ground. But if you, this is just a thing right here. If you're a person that wears shorts, even better. You know what I mean? They don't really get dirty, do they? Now, unless you like sit in chocolate or something, then you need the stain remover. Go home or go back to your room, get that OxyClean stuff I just mentioned, okay? That's going to save your not having to go get more clothes or bring more clothes. For socks, I'll bring 1 pair. You know what I mean? I don't need multiple pair of socks. And usually with these, if I'm wearing pants, you're not going to notice what color they are. So it doesn't matter. And I'll usually wear these because they can pack way down. I put them inside my shoe, and voila. And I'll take some of these undies. I'll put them in the other shoe. That means there's 1 less pair of undies. When I'm packing away shoes, I could put 2 or 3 of them just in my shoes, and it kind of saves space. And I don't put these in my travel pack. I just stick them underneath the seat or wherever I can put them to save space. I'm trying to use anywhere I can stick something to save space. All right. And as far as shoes, let's just talk about them. These are perfectly fine. Just about any place that you can go in, these particular shoes will be fine. I mean, I usually wear boat shoes, okay? I'm a boat shoe person. Tennessee is hot. I mean, I've wore shorts for Christmas before. Now, it gets cold, don't get me wrong. I can't always do this all the time. It's just in the middle of the day, sometimes it could be hot, even in the cold parts. Pretty much from about the 2nd week of December to about the middle of March is when you really have the freezing temperatures, okay? During the day, it might be 50, okay? So you don't have to really pack with a parka, but you might need a parka at like 5 a.m. when it's 26 for a low. Just keep in mind. So depending on how much you need to be outside exposed to that, I'm presupposing that you know what to do. Now, I'll also be completely honest. Most of you guys are not going to be traveling in the middle of the winter. You're going to be traveling pretty much about the 2nd week of March to about the 1st week of December. So you're going to be fine with wearing something like this and a pair of pants. Of course, during the summer, it gets so hot. It's like I don't need to be wearing anything. I need to be in the shade if I'm outside at all. But if you do go outside and it's 94, you're obviously going to be more worried about hot than cold. But these shoes will still apply, is what I'm trying to say. Some kind of trail type, good looking trail shoe. And that's because if you decide to go out for a walk, you're fine. If you go out for a little trail hiking thing, or you go into somewhere like something outside, outdoor, out something. And then you want to go out to eat, you're probably going to something like what's called fast casual. Now, this is not in this particular lesson, but we talk about what the dress code is up to a certain level, and just about anything on the road, you're going to be okay. Okay, so especially in today's world where there's so many people that wear just goofy stuff, right? Some people barely dress at all. Some people wear their pajamas, it seems like, to Walmart, and there's a lot of people that take their looks on a way lower bar than I do particularly. It's just, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying that it seems like as I go out, I find it more common. But anyway, good shoe like this, no problem. You know what I mean? As far as what you wear. So this is kind of my get up, and I'll put 2 or 3 of these, of each of those. I'm talking about the shirts and pants. I guess I might as well get the undies out. No, we'll get the socks out too. Let's do that. All right, so that's my get up for a while. Now, of course, I'll wear short socks, the little small ones that barely go. They're like no-show socks. If I'm wearing shorts, I could easily put those, no problem. But usually I'll wear these like Sunday type socks. I like them more. I'm just going to say that's my preference. You do your preference. But I could put 2 or 3 of these things and put it in a small duffel. No problem. So that's how I go about packing. I've done this for 30-something years. And I've never had an occasion where I needed more than that. Okay? Now, keep in mind, like I mentioned, if I needed my suit and stuff, that's a different story. I have things that pack suits. It folds. I put the stuff on top of them. I have a wrinkle kit. When I'm going to do something fancy, that's what I do. That's beyond the scope of this course, okay? But even if it turns out you needed to go take a road trip because you're going to go do something, it's very easy, very manageable. So some things that are kind of neat that I believe are worth taking. Like I mentioned, these little guys that kind of fold down. Anything that's kind of made for campers, they're usually pretty good about it. Like I mentioned, soap. If you just want to take one thing, as far as shampoo, soap combination, these little goat milk soaps, they work really fine for your hair and body, no problem. Now let's talk a little bit about, and I think this is more ideology, methodology kind of thinking. For some of you guys, you're going to want to take your big, nice, expensive, AirPods or earpods or whatever they call these things. But I would say, no, take your smaller section. Now, if you're going to buy stuff like that, get these, okay? These EarPod Pros, whatever version that's the most recent. This is going to stick in your ear, and it's going to be smaller, lighter, easier to not get damaged. These things right here, these go to my couch. They don't go out on the road whatsoever. And people think, well, because they got that cuff, they keep the sound in. These will do just as good. Put your noise canceling on. It will cancel what comes in. These are the way to go. So what I'm trying to say in this right here, think along these lines. If something's big, ask yourself, do you really need it? I mean, really? You can't make do. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of us need to grow up and kind of get over ourselves a little bit when it comes to packing, but in a lot of different ways. So here's just the sort of natural way to think about it. If it's so big that it just seems gaudy and hard to carry, and you could have something smaller. Now I get it. Between the two of this is like $800. I get what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is just these right here are big. They're expensive. They're not necessary. If you've got something small and dinky that can just go to phones, if you got the corded version, they're like $20, or got a knockoff, they're even cheaper. Just whatever it takes to make you listen. If you're one of those people, I gotta have it, and something like that, and it can be made smaller, get smaller. So that's a lot of it. Now, here's another thing that I find, and I love this guy. There's a problem with it. Now, when it comes to charging your stuff, Try to find out how many plugs you need, because most likely this right here plugged into an already existing laptop, or the other end of it connected to the wall, could charge a multiple amount of different things. This one right here, even though I love it because I could turn each port on and off, it has a big power brick and a bunch of cables. Do you see what I'm saying? This is unnecessary if I bring this, right? So start thinking about it again. Big, little. For my house, for the road trip. You see what I'm getting at? If you could start kind of getting that methodology, then I think you'll be fine when it comes to packing. That's what we're talking about here. What do I need to pack? What do I need to have to take with me? Absolutely, I cannot, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to cell phone charging, I know a lot of people, they want these little guys because they're so neat. They can do your phone, and you can do your watches. Everybody's got an Apple Watch, kind of knows this. You know what I mean? And this kind of works as your kind of multi-charger, because it'll also do your ear pods, won't they? You lay this in this little tray, you put your phone on there. Like I mentioned, my phone's right there, and it won't stick. But anyway, it will go on the MagSafe, and this will get everything in one place. And then whenever you're done, it only takes one cord in the back, a USB-C, and that goes to the wall. So no big deal. You know what I'm saying? So that might be something that's kind of neat. However, if you could just like charge these on the little thing, you know, when you're not using it, they'll hold charge for like a long time. Same as these. They'll store it in this case. They'll be charging as they're in this case. So a lot of times, even this guy is irrelevant. It's not really that useful, even though it sounds like it. So I must say that sometimes just by packing a cord can do a multiple different things, where something like this that's supposed to concise everything is still radically big compared to, well, a cord. You see what I'm saying? So try to think in terms of how can I make this smaller. But it's kind of neat. Now, of course, there's going to be some unitaskers. Of course, I mentioned before, this is a gun. It has a little light on the end of it. You know what I mean? A little laser, all that sort of thing. You try not to use these. However, if somebody thinks and you're a weird scenario that you winked at their guy or their girl, and next thing you know, they're going to kick in your room and start shooting, that's not going to be a great idea. And a lot of hotels don't want you to bring guns into their hotel at all. So I'm of the opinion I just take them in anyway. I have a permit to carry. Now, if you want to know where I am on the political side of things, I am actually more of a liberal. Okay, if people went to push me on Team Red or Team Blue, I'm on Team Blue. I'm sorry if that offends some people, but that's just where I'm at. At the same time, I know that it doesn't matter what team I'm on Team Gun, because that's just how I feel. And a guy with a gun is at least on par with another guy or girl with another gun. So I hate to say it, because there's so many people that get, in a hotel, which we're going to go into hotels, in a different lesson or different lesson extension. But try to get the better hotels, all right? And try to stay away from some of the crazy people, because they'll follow you back to hotels. And if you've been packing, maybe start thinking about packing. If you're not very interested in these, we've already mentioned camp knives. Now, in our security course, or our security section, we go through a lot of this stuff. But I always bring this chef knife. Well, it's not really a chef knife. It's called a camp knife. It's got these little holes in here so that you can take and sort of use it in different manners, like rocking, you know what I mean? And if you got your barbecue hands, it doesn't let it slip out and stab you in the foot. But something like this is usually legal anywhere, because it's technically not a combative style knife. This is a chef type knife. They call them a camp knife. Just tell the police or whatever, this is a camp knife, not a deadly knife, because the overall length is going to get you in trouble. However, usually because kitchen knives are terrible at murdering people, unbeknownst to what they do in the movies, you know what I'm saying? They typically don't pay it. They don't care. You know what I mean? And they might say something because this one's blacked out. This one happens to be from the Dullstrong company, and it's made for this series. But if you buy a good watermelon or a cantaloupe or something, say for example, you're going to use that smoothie maker, well then chopping up some things might be in your wheelhouse. And good luck getting one of these with your room details, right? So you have to bring it with you, which means it can double duty. So you can have this. Now, of course, if you go on a Navy base, you tell them you have a kitchen knife. They might not know what a camp knife is, but so don't be caught with it. But if you need it, then there it is. So there's some things that you'll take packing-wise that'll be part of this, well, your standard stuff. Now, here's something that's completely optional, and I think somewhat ridiculous, but sometimes I'll take this guy. It is it's basically a boundary detector. These little eyes on this guy, this other end plugs into the wall. They automatically sync. I've never had any trouble out of it not syncing. It's weatherproof, too. But, for example, wherever this thing is and this thing connects, it will see what happens, okay? So if you're like looking for, I don't know. So you put it in a car. So anything that comes into its line of sight, it'll make this go off. Do you see what I'm saying? Obviously, too, if you think somebody's coming in your room or you've left your room, you stay 2 or 3 times or 2 or 3 nights in a row, no problem. You could put this up, and if somebody comes in and this thing goes off, dong, or whatever it plays, you could set it to a bunch of different things to play. Then that might alert whoever's come in there to not go any further and then run back out. Because keep in mind, so many times you got these people, they're so bad, but anyway, they can reprogram your little debit card looking things to get you into your hotel room. And if they've seen a bunch of girls go in there and you're all really nice looking, there might be some guy be like, yeah, I might need to get in there before they arrive. And, you never know what goes through people's heads nowadays. But if he comes in the door and this thing starts chirping away like mad, going like, you know what I mean? It's making this sound. He might be like, whoa, hey, now, I ain't supposed to be in here anyway. And he darts out the room. Or it could be some maid that's not got, I don't know, she wants to search your bags for medication or something bad. But you never know what goes in your room after you leave it. So sometimes these are like $30. I mean, they're really cheap on Amazon. Even if you forget it, you're only out $30. But it's something that's kind of cool. You could plug it in next to the door or somewhere within I usually plug the receiver in on the far side of the room, usually close to the beds, so that if it does go off, they can't easily find this that's going off. They might see this guy, but it don't matter. This thing's already seen you. They can kick it. They can throw it around the room. It don't matter. This thing's what's going off. And that might give somebody time to come out. Maybe they might stick their head out of another room wondering what's going on. And then they see the perpetrator going out. Like I say, I wanted to include this in packing, not the security chain or the security lesson, because I feel like this is something that you could possibly take with you. Don't take up much space. Something that you can put underneath the car seat. Just in one of those bags I just showed you, or another bag with just stuff, sort of stuck in it in case you kind of need to have it, and it's central. So kind of for where we keep most of this is kind of right between the 2 seats, kind of underneath the passenger section, because I'm going to be the one needing it. But if I need to tell my daughter to pull the bag out, to not be afraid, can you give Dad the black bag? I think it's made by Qualls or something like that. Anyway, she could just take it. She can hand it to mommy. Mommy can get things out. You know what I mean? And we know that our stuff is in the bag. So, and then we could put it back underneath the bag or underneath the seat. You know what I mean? Just make a plan. What I'm trying to say is just, in all of this stuff, just make a plan. Because if you're out on the road today, there's just a lot of things that could go wrong, could go right, all that sort of thing. Now, how does this go to do with packing? Packing means it's at least with you, okay? Most of the time we just think about packing as in, how do I take my clothes? I think the clothes are obvious. A lot of us have packed for years, but having a way of a kind of methodology of how you pack and a responsibility for how you pack with the rest of them, now that's going to be something that you'll just have to talk to your team about, because I really do intend on you guys talking about what you're going to bring as a pack or as a group. You know what I mean? Get it? I use the pack. Anyways, so look at these different resources. You know about the resources. There was a page, obviously. It's in your list of things under your account and all that sort of stuff at the top. I'm going to assume you know where that is and how to get to it and all that sort of thing. If you don't, be sure to email me, all that sort of thing, and we can get a support call or something so I can show you where it is. But we do have a lot of these downloadable, print-offable type pieces of paper with the very helpful things in there. And one of them just happened, I just picked at random, this one right here. And that's just a travel checklist. And you can date it, you can do whatever you want, the destination, all that sort of thing. It's also good to, whenever we go to the very end of this course, as far as chronicling our vacation, that's where we take this checklist and we'll put a little phone above it and we'll take a picture of it, and then that could be part of your what you brought that time or didn't bring. Maybe under important or something like that. You can write yourself a list. Should have brought, and then you fill in the blank, with what you should have brought the next time. And that's going to give you that story. So the next time you go on a road trip, because this is kind of a template for all the road trips you'll take, it's a good thing to kind of know some of these things so you don't forget them. So if you don't pack them, they're not with you. You'll have to re-buy them when you're out. And that'll go back to something like a suitcase. Now, I keep a suitcase packed all the time. It's right beside my writing desk, you know what I mean? So whenever I feel like, pancreatitis is coming, all I know is to just go get that suitcase, pull it, and I'm ready. I'm ready for a week at some kind of university-style hospital, okay? 'Cause that's usually how long sicko boy here stays in there. So even if you, for example, don't see this coming to, or this particular course teaching you much, it will pay off, I promise, in the way that for emergency cases, if you would just take one of your luggage kits and just say, all right, for emergency purposes, I'm going to store a bunch of our packable stuff in that one place. That way there's a phone charging cable, there's everything you can think of that you bought for your road course, or road trip, I'm going to say, can go back into that piece of luggage. So if somebody calls you at 12:40 at night and you're like, hello, it's like, hello, this is mom, your dad's had a heart attack, or hello sis, turns out I had a heart attack, or I had a traffic accident, or maybe somebody had a problem where you need to get to the emergency room quick, and if they turned out you needed to stay or something with somebody, then you've got your pack. And then also you can take and make copies, like say everybody that's got a copier, stuff like that, or if you wanted to put it in your phone. Of course, a lot of times for security purposes, might not want to do that. But if you have a print out situation, you could put your insurance card, your driver's license, all that stuff. You can put some money in there if you got some money left over, you know what I mean, that you had some cash. You can put it inside one luggage kit and keep that one luggage kit ready at all times, and just in your, just somewhere around in your house, okay? So that you know that whenever something happens, you can get to that and have everything you need. We have a safe at our house to where a little small one, every kind of number that goes to every insurance we have You know, if the house can burn down, I can throw that dude out the window. Well, I mean, assuming that I can throw this safe so hard it goes through the window, and get everything else that I can out. And I know that at least with this thing sitting out in the yard, if our house burns to the ground, everything we needed, copy of our birth certificates, social security cards, our driver's license, our, I don't know, high school, diploma, I don't know, whatever you got from college, just a bunch of different things has already been printed off in copies where there's a number clearly, legible, is inside that little safe. So sometimes stuff like that is very helpful. I think packing has a dual duty. I guess that's why I'm spending so much time with this, is that packing gives you the ability to be prepared. Preparedness goes a long way towards being able to handle a certain situation in a certain place. So that's why I'm a little bit more, I guess, maybe with some of the security stuff, because I would hate to know that somebody got the wrong idea and then busted in your room and you're holding a, flashlight? Toothbrush? You know what I mean? It's just calling the cops is not. Could you wait before you attack me? I need to call the cops. It's like, no, they're probably not going to wait. You know what I mean? In today's age where people follow you from pools, they might see you somewhere in the lobby. Sometimes some questionable individuals can go in a lobby and they can't tell the person from a guest, and they'll hang out. And it's free to ride the elevators, so they might find their way back to your place. And even in some of the nicer hotels, sometimes this kind of thing can happen. And you want to be prepared. And that's why having your door locks and all that sort of thing are kind of maybe not a necessity. They usually make me mad because I forget they're in there. Can't get out of my own room. But whenever I see it, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take these off, When I'm leaving, they go with me, they get packed away, all that sort of thing. So let's just kind of end this here, all right? So basically what we're trying to do is find a way to pack as small and light as possible. Kind of like if you were a trail hiker and you got this big backpack for the big Appalachian Trail. I'm just saying that a couple miles down the trail, you're going to regret taking the cast iron pan. You see what I'm saying? You're going to be like, every ounce is hurting me now. Why did I do this? It's like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Try to pack it with the methodology of a hiker. We're going to put everything as small as we can. Take materials and clothes that do kind of a dual duty, that can be easily cleaned and maintained while out on the road. Try to go through your everyday life. Be able to pack, or if you brush your teeth every day and you shower and every day, we're going to think about how do I put stuff like that into my suitcase, all that sort of stuff. I think that what we shared today was a pretty good way of showing you how to pack. Anyway, this is going to be the end of this bonus type lesson, which I think is just an extension of the other lessons in case you do need some help and understand how to pack correctly and how to facilitate the other people who have packed and trying to get it all into one vehicle, all that sort of thing. Anyway, this has been Mike, and hopefully I will see you in another one of these videos.